to just give out some positive, you know, advice to, black men in general. Black people, but black men are the ones that we need to start stepping up, and we need to start owning. To me, um, that's the way to push um, our way to be from being at the bottom of this society in America. We need to concentrate on even if you just want to own a piece of something, just own something, because ownership gives you the power to maneuver, to do things, to do different things. Like far as like say for instance, you own a restaurant, it gives you the power to hire. It gives you the power to to build a certain amount of wealth, and to create different avenues for your family. If you have kids, your wife or whatever, your girlfriend or whatever your paradigm is built up as, it gives you the flexibility to have your finance situation in your own hands, instead of relying on someone else to give you or to help you, or to be waiting on something to come from someone else. Just be self-efficient, self-sufficient. That's what I want to. That's the word I'm looking for. Self-sufficient is the way to go. Um, I was talking to this young brother, giving him some advice on, steps to me. I just gave him one avenue, just an idea on how he can, possibly, start building, a certain amount of wealth, for him and his family. He was like 20. I think he told me he was like 21, 22 years old, still really, really young. That's really, really young in life. And I was just telling him like, um, he said he was living in an apartment. I said, try to get a house as soon as possible. When you first get your first house, you probably gonna have to pay a little bit of a high interest rate, depending on if how much money you can put down. Usually, people when they get their first house, they don't have a lot of money to put down. When I first got my first house, I think me and my wife put down like 5 or 6 thousand, so our interest rate was a little bit higher. The more money you put down, the more money you able to put down, the lower your interest rate will be. So, like say for instance, you get your first house and you only able to put 5,000 down. Okay, you're gonna have a little bit of a high interest rate. Let's just say you buy a house for like 120,000, and you have to stay in the house for 5 years before you can sell it. Now, the key is get a house in a good neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? You don't want your house to be in a ran down neighborhood, because it's gonna bring down the property value. You want to get your house, when you scouting for a house, look at other houses that are around your house. Look at the neighborhood. Look at where is the neighborhood is location, because what sells houses is location, location, location. You know what I'm saying? And that's and saying that is like the way the way your neighborhood is structured, and how far are you from the restaurants, all the amenities that people like restaurants, the movie theater, the mall, quick access to the freeway, that all that, and quick access if you live in a big city, quick access, or how far you live from downtown where all the the happening things are going on. That's why I say location, location. And look, like I said, it's important to look at the other houses. Are the houses around you keeping up their house? How their houses are looking depend. It all depends on how much your house is going to be valued. Because we know the real estate business goes up and down. So it's best for you to be in a good neighborhood with location, 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 for your house to be able to to go up in value. You have to stay there for 5 years before you can sell your house. If you go into the house and it needs any updates within that 5 years, 5 or 6 years, 7 years, if you got to do 7 years. I know a lot of people don't come into don't have a lot of money set aside to fix up the house, but the main things that sells in houses, because women mostly go into the house, and they look at the house, and they look at bathrooms, master room with the bathroom. Some a lot of them like the bathroom to be connected to the main room and the kitchen. That's what sells houses: kitchen, bathrooms, and the master bedroom. And if you can update those any way you can, that'll bring up the property value of your house. And let's just say in 5 years, the property value goes up. Now you're ready to sell, and you spent 120. You know what I'm saying, on your house. And let's just say now it's houses that's selling in your neighborhood for 180, 190. Now if your house is up to par, now you can sell your house and possibly get like 190, 195. And that right there is like about a what, $60,000 $60,000 equity that you got from your house, that you grown over 5 years because your house came up in value because of the houses around you. That's why I say it's important for you to watch the other houses that are around you, so you can dictate how your house is going to be valued in the future. And let's just say you got $60,000 of equity. Now you have more money, and you sell your house, and you get like, because you got to probably pay taxes on it, so you probably get like 50,000. And let's say now you got more money for your second house than you had for the previous house you just sold. Now you take, let's just say you take about 20,000 you put in the bank, and you take the other 30,000 and you put it on your next house. But your next house is not going to be 120. Your next house is going to be like 225, because now you're trying to build up to where you can, gain money off your house when you sell it. So now you got 20,000 in the bank, which you never had in the bank before, and now you're putting $30,000 on your next house. Now your interest rate is not that high, and now your mortgage is not that high, because the more money you put down, the less your mortgage is going to be. So now even though your house is more, you got a lower interest rate, and your mortgage is low. You can probably have a house that's 225, and the house that you just sold for 120, you could have been paying, because your interest rate was a little bit high in that first house, and you couldn't put down that much money. Let's just say you was paying 700 $700 for a mortgage, and now the house is 220. You can possibly be paying $500 for mortgage, because of the fact that you had more money to put down on this house, and your interest rate was lower on this house, because you had more money to put down. And now you got $20,000 in the bank. Now you keep that $20,000 in the bank because you're still working. You know what I'm saying? You really don't have to touch it unless it's an emergency. And now you live in this house for three. Now I think the second house, I think you only have to live in there for 3 years. Now you live in this house for 3 years. Now remember, location, location, location. Always get a house that got location, location, locations. Amenities that are around, not that far from the house, and look out the houses that are around you. Now let's just say in 3 or 4 years, this house that you bought for 225 or 220, it's like 260. It's worth like 260, 265, maybe 270. Now that's another $45,000 that you have right there when you sell a house. Let's just say you get about 45,000 off of it. Now you take about 15, and you put the rest of the money on the other house, because it's important for you to keep your mortgage down. Even though your house costs more, you want to keep your mortgage down. So you go get another house. Now this is your third house. Now this young, like I was explaining to this young brother, you 22 years old. Now you about what? 27, 28, 29. Now you like 30, 31 years old, and now you have what? Almost $40,000 in the bank, and you're in your third house, and now you buy this house. You buy this house for about, remember, location, location, location. You buy this house, and you probably buy $250,000 house. You know what I'm saying? Now your mortgage is still not going to be that high, because guess what? You got a lot of money that you bring into the table. The more money you bring to the table, the less your mortgage is going to be. Now, after you sell this house, and you probably generate, like, let's just say you generate 40,000 off this house, 35, 40,000 off this house. Now you got about what? You got about 80, almost 80,000 in the bank. You take that 80,000, you go buy you a couple acres, about 3 or 4 acres, that you probably going to spend, maybe, it all depends on what state you live in. Let's just say you live in the state of Iowa or something like that, and you go buy some properties. You go buy like 2 or 3 acres, 4 acres for 50,000. You don't have to tap into none of your other money. You just tap into the money that you've been building over the last 10 years. You go take 50,000, boom, and guess what you do on this property? Now that you got your own property, which is like 3 or 4 acres, maybe 5 acres, now what you do is you build your own house on your own land. Now you got land in your own house on your own land. So now you got a house that has equity and has you have money into your house, which is a long-term investment, and now you have land, which is a long-term investment. And that's how that's one way you can build up a certain amount of money, a certain amount of wealth, a certain amount of financial happiness or financial flexibility. That's just one way, you know what I'm saying? That's just one way that I told a young brother, because he's so young, he has time to build. We have to start looking, we have to start having foresight. How you think these companies like Walmart, for instance, they had, I believe they started in Arkansas with one store, but they had the foresight to say, okay, this store be successful and then we can start branching out. That's the same thing with the house. You buy a house and you just keep branching out. You have to be smart with what, like I said, with the location. You have to be smart in that, and you have to do your homework, and you have to stay up on it, and you can do it. You can. That is one way you can do it. Now, like I said, anyone can do it, but I'm just saying, like, he will be like 31, 32 years old, and now he got a couple acres, and he got his own house built on his own land. He can flip that in 5 years. Sell that land, sell that house, because now that house that he's on the bill, probably, like, he could probably build a house for like 250. Or, I mean, this worth 250. He got about 20,000 to put down on the house. You know what I'm saying? He got his land, which is all his. You know what I'm saying? Which is, he got it's land is equity, because you may have spent 50,000 for it, but you could probably flip it for 100,000. When you sell it to the next person, when you sell a house, you sell the land with the house. Bow. Then you can go, you just keep on going. Now you can go buy you 10 acres with the money you got off of that deal and build. So it's different ways you can do it depending on your financial situation. I was just saying, for most of us, minorities, most of black people that doesn't, that we don't have wealth waiting for us when we're born. We don't have a lot of financial, we, you know, being ahead financially. That's just one way to do it. You know what I'm saying? You just got to get it out the mud. You know how y'all young people say, get it out the mud? You have to get it out the mud. That's one way you can do it. That's one way of looking at it. It's many other ways to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, depending on how your finances, but that's just one way of doing it, man. We have to start being more self-efficient, more financially literate, and just use our minds. We have great minds. We're just, sometimes we'll just get in that rut to where we're gonna wait for someone else to do something. You know what I'm saying? Or wait for someone else to pick us up. When you can pick you can pick yourself up. You know what I'm saying? And now everybody needs help along the way. So some people need help, of course. You know, take the help. You know what I'm saying? But always reimburse someone that helps you. But anyway, that's just one way of doing it, man. We have to start, doing that. And look, I know the dynamics in America. When what I tell, young black men that, and black people in general, when this country was founded, and it wasn't founded for us to be a part of it. We were brought here as slaves. Now, you have to go back in history to figure out the dynamics of what all that happened. I've been sitting around, talking with some of my guys about, what we think happened based on the information that we got, and based on logical thinking. But nevertheless, we were here. The Constitution was written. We were enslaved when the Constitution was written. We were not part of the Constitution. We were not part of none of the wealth that was given out in America. Yes, it was people that come here that was getting land and all that. We were not given none of that. We were freed. But what we have to understand is, when black people were freed, we still wasn't in the Constitution. We still wasn't part of anything. We were just freed. We were just free to go. No land, no economic consideration, no nothing, no housing, no nothing, just free to go. Free to be out there in the wind. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, now we have more ways to build up, and get financially literate. It's just you have to learn how to work the system, man. Read these bills that are being passed in Congress. It's bills that are being passed in Congress almost every day, weekly, that has money in there to help people. You know what I'm saying? It have grants and all this. They call it pork. You'll hear this word pork, and what that pork is, it's like a lot of states get sent a lot of money to help certain to help you in certain ways, but you just have to know what's in the bill. We don't have, because we're busy. We on that hamster wheel. We don't have time to look at a bill and read a bill. Them bills be like 500, 600 pages long, some of them. So we don't have time. But you can just Google, certain parts of the bill. You can just you can type in, parts of the bill that actually, maybe can favor you or help you in your situation. But we need to, yeah. I know. We heard the term 3 acres in a mule and $100. When they wrote the second Constitution, which the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment. When they wrote those, I know that people say this guy stood up and said, well, we need to include the black people in the financial part, far as giving them 40 acres and a mule and $100. But look, reparations. I know hear a lot of people talking about reparations. Man, look, don't sit back waiting on reparations. If they give us, if they say, well, yeah, we gonna get reparations, that's fine. But don't base everything off of sitting back and waiting for that. That's what I'm talking about, waiting. Go out, try to be as self-efficient as possible. Yes, people need help, but don't sit back waiting on something. We have wasted too much time waiting on that promise of reparations. You know what I'm saying? So just go out, get it from the mud, help your fellow man if they need help. People that's around you. You have people in your family. It's people in people's families that will help them as long as they help themselves. I tell my nieces and nephews all the time, if I see you helping yourself, I'll help you. I will help you. I'm not going to help you if you're going to sit back and not do anything. That's what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to help you if you don't sit back and say, well, I need to be helping myself. Because if you don't want to help yourself, why should I be interested in helping you? It's just going to hurt you. It's going to hurt you in the long run, because you have to become self-efficient. So let's get out there, man, and let's build a plan and try to stick to your plan as much as possible. Have a plan, have foresight. You know what I'm saying? Everything can't happen in a year or 2 years or 3 years. You got to think in 5-year intervals. Where I want to be in 5 years, how I want to be financially stable in 5 years. Boom. You get past that 5 years. Okay, now how I want to be financially stable in this 5 years, where I want to be in 5 years. You can stick in 10-year intervals. I don't know. I don't care how you do it, but at least try to achieve the goal within that time as much as possible. Man, that's my positive message, man. Because I know a lot of people that get on here and they don't give out solutions. They just want to whine. It's time out for whining, and start giving and start having a solution to the problem. Because all the whining, and that's for the men out there. Men don't sit back and wait for somebody to give them something. Either he gets it legally, or he gets it. He gets it through the system, or he gets it. Y'all know what I mean when I say he gets it. He don't sit back and whine and wait for someone to do something for him. That's a man. Now, I'm not saying a male, because there's young males out there and there's males out there. I'm talking about for the men out there. Men don't sit back and do that, man. Men go out there and get it. You have to go out there and get it. That's only way the woman is going to respect you. You have to be a man that's going to go out there and get it. Not wait for someone to give you a helping hand. Like I said about the reparations. It's a lot of people online talking about the reparations, man. We know, fine, we know. But that was something that they was going to give us. You know what I'm saying? That's something that they were going to give us. And when somebody say they're going to give you something, guess what? They got the power to say, I'm not going to give it to you. Like I said, the Constitution wasn't written for us to get any. We wasn't in the first Constitution, the first draft of the Constitution. We wasn't promised no shelter, no land, no nothing, no money, no currency. We weren't promised none of that stuff. They just said one day, okay, yeah, we should give them something. But like I said, when someone want to give you something, they can also say, I'm not giving you nothing. I changed my mind. Y'all know, y'all been around people say, hey man, I changed my mind. So don't sit up there and wait for that, man. Go out there and just, like I said, we have strong minds, we have good minds, we have creative minds, we have created things over the years. So we have good, creative, strong minds. We have to stop getting that lazy state. Put down the PlayStation controllers, the PlayStation 5s. You know what I'm saying? put the blunt down. I know people gonna be like, oh man, smoking weed. No, smoking weed, not weak. I'm not gonna say weakens your mind, but it makes your mind lazy. You know what I'm saying? Weed relaxes you. It's like a muscle relaxer. And the biggest muscle and the most powerful muscle in your body is your brain. So it relaxes your brain. Now I know people out there that are self-sufficient and still smoke weed. But then I also know people out there that smoke weed and that's all they want to do all day. Put down the weed. Brothers, put down the weed. If you know you can't function on it, put it down. Get your life together. Get out your mama's basement. Get out your grandmother's basement. Get out your aunt's basement. Stop living off a woman, because a lot of them, they move from their mom house and they move to their girlfriend. Now their girlfriend is their mom. Go out. A man that's leaving his mom should not go move to his girlfriend. Move with his girlfriend right away. I did that. That was the wrong thing to do. You shouldn't do that. You should move from your mom house, have a plan, and get your own place, and start learning how to be self-sufficient. Apart from your family, even okay, not just your mom. If you have a mother and a father at home, some people have mother and fathers at home. Some people only got the mother, or some people only have the father. I'm gonna say parent in general. When you move from your parent house, learn how to be self-sufficient. Move on your own. Don't move in with the woman. The woman don't. You know what I'm saying? Don't move in with the woman. Be out on your own. That's for the men out there, because I see a lot that, and you can tell the ones that really doesn't work. They walking behind the woman with they shoulders slunched over, their head down, because they know they doing wrong, man. That's not the nature of a man. Nature of a man is take care of himself. At the bare minimum, a man should better take care of himself. But that's my message, man. I'm out.